It's the final day of the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge, and the On the Brink team would start the day in position 13 on the road. They were looking to improve their position, but the day wouldn't go according to plan.
Yeah, it probably wasn't the ending that I was hoping for. As I remember Dale said yesterday, there might be a sting in the tail, and it happened to get us today. So yeah, we actually had a really good first 60 kilometres on our own. Didn't catch anybody, didn't have anybody catch us. So I felt like I was driving quite well and doing it all on my own, in my own time, listening to what Dale had to give to me. And somebody eventually passed us, and I decided to follow them, and it was just a nothing. And yeah, we just put it on its lid, well, actually vertical, and took about half an hour to get that righted with the help of another crew. Gathered ourselves back together and went about another 10 kilometres or so, following another car, and there were some loose parts on the car, and the bonnet. We were driving along a main road part which was quite dusty, which is okay to follow the brake lights, and the bonnet finally ripped off, and that I think took my concentration momentarily, and then went into a pretty violent roll and had a little trip in a helicopter, and a few stitches later, and that's all she wrote. But yeah, it was disappointing not to be able to give the team a good result and us a good result as well, but I'm still pretty positive in the fact that we learned a lot, like this weekend. I've taken a lot and learned a lot, and it'll help us for Dakar.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it down as a fantastic day, but look, we came here as a learning experience, and that's what we got. I think we had pretty much everything during the event, and not just the highs and lows. I think experience-wise, there was so much we gained from what we came here to do. The navigation's not as tricky here, but following the cap headings is something that Glenn hasn't done before. So from that perspective, it was fantastic, because literally for 5 days you're literally following cap headings the whole way. So it was good to give him that experience of doing that, because that's critical at times during Dakar. Yeah, and as I said, coming here with zero experience to the places where we got to follow people and see what the outright speed is, and see what these cars are capable of. And I think that's quite important to know and understand what the car's capable of, because they're not purpose-built race cars. Essentially, they're modified agricultural vehicles. So yeah, knowing what the car's capable of and seeing those gun guys, attack the stages, and being able to do that ourselves following them was sensational. That was great. So yeah, I think, look, the accident was unfortunate. It was a big accident. We're not going to hide or shy away from that fact. But it's all part of the process, isn't it? So we know where the limit is on, and it was probably a little bit of a silly rookie type error in the way that it all happened. But we've learned from that. I can see, and Glenn and I have spoken about how that happened and how we might be able to prevent that in the future. It wasn't a case of us being idiots and trying to prove anything. We had a huge gap behind us today. We weren't trying to do anything silly. But yeah, just got caught out in a place, and I think in Dakar that happens quite often. You are following in dust, and these things do happen. So yeah, lessons learned. We walked away, and the team's very happy. The car was sensational. We were comfortable in it, and yeah, I think a lot of positives from this event.